let's do a food review on Freshpet. This one came with a lot of requests. So first thing, I like to look at the website. So the term farm raised is a little bit fishy because it can mean a variety of different things. I do like that we're gently cooked, and that means that the food is going to be a little bit more nutrient dense. We shouldn't have to add a lot of nutrients back in. Looking at these ingredients, there's not a bunch of green ingredients, but a lot of red. There are two things that I specifically want to talk about. The first one being all these synthetic vitamins and minerals, and the other one being the carrageenan. When we're gently cooked or steamed the way that they say that they process their food, we shouldn't need to add a bunch of nutrients back in. For example, this is Evermore. They also are kind of the same gently cooked type of dog food, but they don't need to add a bunch of synthetic vitamins or minerals. And I would say 95% of these ingredients are what I would consider a green ingredient. Next, let's talk about the carrageenan, which is going to be used in a lot of dairies and especially in a lot of these wet foods because it is a solidifier. It kind of helps hold like the gel format of the food. However, it does not have much nutritional value, and it has been linked to a lot of things like inflammation, diabetes, and a bunch of other diseases. Now, this is the guaranteed analysis that you're going to see on the back of the bag, but because this is a wet food, we have to do some sort of conversions to make sure that we're comparing this on a dry matter basis. So your values are going to look a little bit more like this. Now, I want you to notice that fat content. Anything 20% or above is going to be considered a high-fat diet. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but there are some certain diseases or conditions that your dog might have that you might want to take this in consideration. All in all, I give this specific product a C-. Next, let's talk about the grain-free Vital. I like that they specify that the chicken is grain-free because if you're trying to feed a grain-free diet, but the chicken that's in the grain-free diet was eating grains, then there's not much point. However, is this chicken pasture-raised, cage-free? This is still a vague term. We have a few more green ingredients in the other recipe, but there's still a pretty decent amount of reds, especially with those vitamins and minerals, and there's that carrageenan again. When we do our conversions, we're going to look at a guaranteed analysis that's a little bit closer to this. I think that this is a great protein content. I think that this has pretty much low carbs, which I do like, but we're also pretty high in fat. Another thing that you want to consider when talking about fat is the quality of it, not always just the quantity of it. I like this recipe a little bit better, so I'm going to give it a B-. This will be the last of the Freshpet recipes. This ingredients list is pretty similar to the last one with about 6 to 7 green ingredients, but once again, we got all those synthetic vitamins, minerals, and the carrageenan. This has a pretty similar guaranteed analysis of the last recipe, so I'm going to also give it a B-. So overall, I do like this option better than traditional kibble because it is going to have a better protein content. You're also going to have a lot more of those nutrients because we did not cook it out through the extrusion process, which is how kibble is made. However, a lot of the ingredients are still pretty low quality, so I'm going to give this guy a B-. I think this is a great way to step up your game if you're still on a budget, which is totally fine.